Yes, a very good morning to our Smart 24 viewers, and of course it is time for SMB, Smart Means Business, where we drive business with you. And of course I'm here with Mercy in the studio. Good morning, Mercy.
Good morning, Charlotte. I'm good. I'm actually good. Yesterday I was...
You didn't give me chicken. You ate chicken.
It was on a short notice. First of all, I expected you to be here so that I give you a proper invite, but too bad. Too bad. Yeah. But anyway,
I thought the economy was going to make you mean.
Actually, I feel like when it comes to transport, actually, borders had increased a bit, and you're like, why has the fuel increased? Why all of a sudden am I paying for the person who went to the village also? So what is this supposed to be? But yesterday was a good day, some showers of rain. So definitely those who went, you didn't miss out. You didn't miss out at all.
Well, welcome back from Christmas to our viewers, and of course to you. You look like you really had a blast for the day.
Not as quiet, because I had to work first of all. It wasn't like I wasn't in the spirit like I usually do for the last years, but it was a good day at the end of it all. But wherever you are, I hope you had a good day. Didn't mix up food. Pharmacies should be open right now so that people get some medication.
Well, of course, the festive season. Yesterday we saw many people in the markets complaining about the price, complaining about how the economy was not really changing and all. But you know, compared to the other Christmases, if you actually compare, this is a Christmas you actually look at, you say, yes, the economy was bad, yes, it was really not okay. But personally, last year's Christmas, you know, we had just left COVID, the lockdown and everything, so money was really scarce, people were complaining and all, but people were like, it was okay. And then this one, they are actually feeling it because they've spent a year working and they're not seeing the money. But the other time, there was that little money and they knew the money wasn't there, so they had to go with what was there.
So the expectation this year was high.
Yes, it was quite high. And of course, even the people in the markets kept saying, you know, we buy these things, we thought people were going to come, it being a big day, but still no change. And of course, on the roads, there's a very huge change when it comes to traffic. And right now, as of today morning, it is still clear compared to the other days. You know, usually on a Tuesday, when you get around there, Garden City Street, there, you can't get anywhere you're going within 30 or 10 minutes. But there's a difference in the traffic. But then also we see that today is 26th, and most Ugandans use this time for entertainment. Most people say, let me use 25th to be with family, and then 26th I'm going to go find that I can find a place to actually have fun, a place to actually enjoy the holidays and spend some money on myself. But of course, you see, the prices are not even changing. The prices are also the same. Like in the other months when we have these concerts and events, we have 10,000, 20,000, and of course you find that even yesterday most people had gone to see other concerts and everything. Of course we had some rappers and stuff.
Definitely.
Musicians, because there is who is big, who is smaller, and all that. But at the end of the day, festive season has actually not really treated so many people. But the ones who are complaining are the ones in business, and the others are like, yes, so far so good. You know what? Whatever is there, we go with that. That stress is not there anymore.
I believe it depends on how strategic you are from the beginning of the year. So if you're strategic, you know, the people who begin a year with no plan, like the way wind takes you, that's how you go. But if you begin with a plan, you know, at the end of the day, when we're closing up the year, you're going to have something for yourself. So because people are seasonal, even people who do businesses, that is why, because they're seasonal, their expectations are so high, and when they get little, they're disappointed. Because they're seasonal, they'll be like, if it's Christmas, I'm going to stock a lot. So imagine you're stocking because you think it's the Christmas period and people do not turn up. You're going to be disappointed at the end of the day. But anyway, not so bad. This one was not so bad. So we expect today for people to loosen up a bit and, you know, go out. Yesterday people were constrained, there, being humble. Not everyone being humble in their families, but then today is the day where people, and actually very many, because it's Boxing Day, for most people, some people feel like it's the day where people unwrap their gifts. But for Uganda, it's tradition, it's partying. It's partying. So
party after party.
Come on.
Well, when you look at the budget, most Ugandans usually say in January it is 46 days.
Oh yeah, it's tight.
Yes. And that is because nobody gets time to actually pay for these 2 days. They're just 2 days, but usually we tend to spend more than we're supposed to spend. And then you find that someone actually entered into capital. You know, there's that capital money you put in business, then you get profits. So they eat the profits, and before you know it, money capital again did them.
Yeah, I think it all goes back to planning actually, because yesterday we were talking about it, me and Edith yesterday, and we said you have to prioritize. Yeah, you don't have to spend unnecessarily. You buy things that are not necessary, forgetting that there are those 2 dry months of the year, January and February in most cases, but January most especially. Why? Because this whole week people are going to spend. You know, people are out in the villages. You know, you're supplying. You're the dawn of the town. Yes. You're the rich daddy, so you're supplying. So imagine your salary comes, but at the end of the week, it's already done. So it's quite unfortunate. It's not a must that you have to give every year. Yeah, and leave some for yourself, leave some for your family. It's not a must that you have to spend or go for maybe a trip or vacation. You could decide to stay home with family, or probably you could decide to spend less if you've been going to a restaurant and spending almost 300,000, 500,000. No, you could choose to have lunch from home, or do something that can save up that money that you've been spending in the festive. Because at the end of the day, this 1 week, it's not the end of the world. We still have a full year to cover. So please, me, the only problem that I have is January. I want people to get used to the fact that January is always a dry, because everyone is now fighting. I want to recover from the festive season, so even the prices are a bit high. So definitely that is what we expect at the end of this month, getting into the next year of 2024, inshallah, like the Muslims say, God willing, if we are here.
But of course, here we see in an analysis, they say the top seasonal spending and shopping events around the world, Christmas is like 57% all over the world. People spend like 57%. And then Mother's Day and Father's Day, 26%. And then you find like Easter is like 32%. You find that Christmas ends up taking the highest percentage. And you find that these other days people are like, okay, Father's Day, yeah, no problem, because everyone will be like, Happy Father's Day.
And that's it.
Easter, Happy Easter, that's it. You know, these other days are not like really. But you find that 25th is a day that is even celebrated by the people we don't expect to celebrate. And of course, the data reveals that more than half, over 58% of all global shoppers who shop during seasonal events say that they increase their expenditure at least slightly, including 17% who say the spending or more, much more. They find that they spend more than they actually expected. And this 58% they are looking at is something that the people spend, but of course you'll find that even in the shops end up increasing the prices, and before you know it, you wanted to spend 100,000 from your 500,000, you end up spending like 300,000, because the prices are actually high in all ways. So we find that back to school, usually most of the parents in January, you find that 69% of kids usually don't go back on the first days, because they are coming from this seasonal spending and everything. And then you find that most businesses don't tend to restock immediately after the seasonal shopping of the people. You find that most of the shops, if you check them in January, they're usually they have less stock compared to the other times. And then you also find
demand.
Yes, even in offices, when they all go back, you find that usually in the first month of the year, bosses usually don't pay in the first month. And they're like, you know what, we actually spent a lot here, end of year party and also.
You guys, people don't want to hear. People don't want to hear the fact that there's no payment in January.
But this is the truth.
Like, that's the truth, really.
Usually January, the boss is like, oh, let's find a way to do it. You know, we just done the end of year party. You know, we just did the salary increment and all that. So among the consumers who shop during single days or 2/3, 65% say they spend more during the shopping event. Mostly after the shopping event, which is 25th 25th, and after that the seasonal entertainment, which is 26th, and you find that even after that people tend to spend even more on 31st.
Oh God, that is even more. They spend more than the Christmas. 31st, people spend more than Christmas.
And
trust me.
As time goes by, you find that most people say, you know what, you only live once.
Yeah.
You know, they're like, let me eat my money. You don't know what will happen when you enter the year. And this is a really wrong way of actually looking at things, because you actually have people you have to think about at the end of the day. Yes, so we're going to take a very short break, and of course we are going to be coming back with international news and Caribou. We'll be right back.
Smart 24, driving business.
Luxury redefined at Seasan Hotel as you indulge in the splendor of elegant living fit for the royalty that you are. Step into comfort, pampering and blissful customer-centric service as you select from our range of comfy exquisite living quarters furnished to meet with your royal preference. Surrounded by scenic beauty, our tropical setting allows you to escape the glamorous ordeal of city life. Our ambient green gardens will guide you to a place of revitalizing rest. The 3-star restaurant caters to your palate, serving your choice menu ranging from exotic cuisines to local delicacies. Our chefs will serve you full-course meals for a truly out-of-this-world culinary experience. Our fully stocked bar to whet your throat, from renowned global brand whisks, brandies, gins, beers and wines to our locally celebrated beverages, you will not lack for any brewage. It's an all-new experience in the East at Seasan Hotel. So visit today at Plot 15 to 19 Spire Road, Ginger, or contact us on +256 751 719 960 and +256 785 354 614 for reservations. Seasan Hotels, luxury redefined.
Welcome back from that short break, and of course you're still watching Smart Minutes Business here on Smart 24 TV. Masika Tsime, and I am with Charlotte, where of course a lot has been happening, and of course the very city that we know where Christ, people presumably say Christ was born, they were not able to celebrate Christmas. Why? Because of the war that is happening. We well know that in these last months there was a war between Israel and Palestine, so definitely there was nothing like celebrations. And of course Ukraine had their very first Christmas since the war also last year. So today I believe, yesterday I believe they had the very best of the day. Yes. Well, of course right about now I'm seeing Andrew very ready to give us an update on what is happening on the roads there. Good morning, Andrew.
At the fairway traffic lights, of course, giving you your traffic report for this particular hour. And according to what you're observing, the situation is quite very calm and nothing. Of course, it's Boxing Day, and definitely majority of the people, of course, there was massive Christmas celebrations, and probably they could be into, the hangover, which is tight onto their side. Well, if you can take a look down here on my back, that is at the John Babiha route, you can clearly see it's quite pretty empty. Nobody is actually prompted to report to work on a day like this, on a Tuesday, on a Boxing Day, of course, with the massive celebrations right there. And this is expected to actually continue to up to at least 2nd of January, when the roads are definitely empty, because around that time it's when we anticipate that, of course, the holidays, the small holiday that was granted to the workers from the different companies will be actually getting done, the festive holiday. So this is likely to continue this way till some good time. Very empty. It's quite unbelievable. I mean, if you're coming in from Kamonche and you probably link through the Bukoto Street, Kandicha Street, you can actually reach here in no minutes. Passing by the Kololo route, you link to the John Babiha route, and it can really give you a clear perspective that this is quite very friendly. And just like yesterday, still on this particular route where I'm standing, I'm not seeing any traffic officer. Definitely there is no need for that, so that is also a break for them. And that is how it is standing like here, the John Babiha route. And of course, taking a look at the Yusuf Lule Road, where it links up to Wandegea, that is all the way from Nile Avenue, Garden City, heading to Wandegea. It's also very free, as you can actually observe. So if you're coming in from Kamoche, Wandegea, and you probably plan to head towards this road heading towards Garden City or any other related destination, I can actually assure you that it's quite very friendly with you. It's entirely the traffic lights in entirety when it comes to control of the vehicles that are coming in from the different destinations heading to other destinations. Well, it's quite wonderful. Literally, the economy is shut a little bit, so you can really see. And now, if we take a look at the Kafu Road, the road which links you straight, that is to Wandegea. If you probably, in case of days when there is excess jam around the Mlago roundabout, you can use the Kafu route. It can actually lead you there. Very empty as always. Same applies to the Sezwa Road, which heads you to Nakasero. Still the same. So entirely, and this is not just happening here, in all places, even in the suburbs of Kampala, it's actually the same situation. But when we talk about uptown, it's much more worse. All those areas that we consider to be corporate, still the same. Now, if you are to, for example, probably a few areas where I can say that a business is taking place on probably like Kalere area. Yes, those areas are a little bit busy, even Wandegea market slightly a little bit, so where you can actually experience a degree of congestion. But of course, coming in down here to the uptown, well, it's really it's Christmas season, it's the festive season. You really get to understand that we're into the festive season. Now, if we can finally switch our eyes and take a look at the Yusuf Lule Road, of course, connecting to Garden City, at the same time stretching all the way to Wandagea, very empty. It's free, just like the rest of the routes, as you can clearly observe the situation right there. So any person, you're coming in from probably Chibuli, you're coming in from Bugolobi, you're coming in from Zambia, and you're planning to head towards probably Mulago or Wandagea, I can assure you that you will be in position to actually reach in the required time that you ought to reach, because the situation is very calm as we speak right now. Of course, from Bugolobi, still you have to link up to the Wandagea. From Bugolobi, you'll have to link up to the Airtel roundabout, then come closer to the Ginger traffic lights where Kampala Road and Ginger Road meet, and you can actually come and proceed from Garden City and head towards Wandagea side as you're coming in, as you're using the Nile Avenue route and the Yusuf Lule Road. So that is the situation, how it is standing at here at the Fairway traffic lights. Of course, businesses at standstill till probably 2nd of January, when we expect to get back to the normal business. Well, back to studio with Mercy and Charlotte.
For that beautiful report. As you can see, those that are coming in, there is nothing. Please, you can even come walking, you can come taking your stroll, you can come on your bike. There is no traffic. These are the most dangerous times, actually. This is where you can get knocked. Why? Because mentally, psychologically, you feel like, oh, it's a free road. I can walk, I can crawl on it. Trust me, those border guys are crazy. They will knock you off.
Actually, borders are quite very dangerous right now, because on my way here, I actually found like 5 bars open, and the people that are actually packed outside, the biggest numbers, the borders on the roads, like from Kalero to this side and everything, the bars that are out there, you find that there are borders that are packed outside, and there are more than cars. So that means they're going to get out of the bar, get on a border, they look for customers. So people have to look out for that to be safe. Because at the end of the day, you find that you're going to sit on this border, you don't know whether he's drunk, you don't know whether he didn't sleep the whole night, you don't know what's up with him. He might have left the bar when he's actually not okay.
So they were in the bar?
They are in the bar the whole night, because you know that street, Akamwesi Street, all of it, the bars. So you find that most of them, and also we're seeing here flights were delayed as Geneva Airport workers went on strike.
Oh, so they decided to go on strike on the day?
Yes, it was during rush hour. It was on Sunday, actually. People were actually rushing and everything. They wanted to go through that. And of course, even on Monday, which was yesterday, they were on strike because they were saying they were not paid.
Oh, wow.
So no money, no flights.
No money, no working. Yeah.
Yes, and of course, a number of flights from Geneva Airport were delayed, and some were cancelled during the holiday rush Sunday, as dozens of ground staff went on strike over a wage dispute. And of course, the workers began their strike at around 4 a.m. and to protest. The protests have conditions provided by their employer, the Dubai National Air Travel Agency. Of course, you see, with all this, you find that some people have missed to celebrate with their families. They might have ended up using road, and you know, with road you get there late, and with road there are accidents, and with road you end up being sick, because it's actually not really good to travel long distances in these times, because you know, even when you get to where you're going, it's going to be a lot of work where you're going, so you need the rest for the season. And this is where we find the highest number of accidents. So that means hospitals are going to be busy.
Yeah, and of course, I think they're going to be giving us a report on the road traffic. Yeah, maybe probably when we're getting into the new year, because last year at least they reported 127 were dead in the festive season.
Wow.
Yeah, so a lot of accidents do happen, so you have to be cautious, be safe on the road, okay? I was telling Ini yesterday, if you do not know, just write down the number plate. If you're taking an Uber, write a number of the car that is taking your border, right? Just in case you just be like, yeah, in case I get lost.
That is something funny I've never gotten, because if I've gotten an Uber, yes, I'll give you the number plate. How about this person borrowed the car from Mercy to actually do Uber driving?
No, at least they will track the car. Yes.
And then?
Yes, they'll track the car.
Because I'll borrow the car from you, and then I have it home, and my brother uses it for Uber, and I actually don't get to know.
We don't care who you stole it from, but as long as we get the number, you will lead us to the person who took your car.
Even these border borders, how are you going to track down this particular border? Because we usually say, you're going home, be safe. You take a photo of the border, you take a photo of the number plate, you take a photo of the guy. Because at the end of the day, even if you have the guy's photo, he's wearing a helmet. At that moment, you're all excited, you're happy this person is going home. You will not actually look at it so much. But anyways, at the end of the day, yeah, mom kama.
Yeah, true. So a lot was happening yesterday, and of course, we're seeing here Masindi bans overnight prayers to combat livestock theft. So people are planning to steal livestock. So here, to curb the rising cases of livestock theft during the festive season, Masindi District Security Committee has urged the community to refrain from attending overnight prayers. Those that are planning to have overnight the 31st.
So you're going to pray on that day?
No, those that are in Masindi, definitely, because 31st, I believe that is the day where most people have prayers endlessly from 7 till the next morning. Yeah, you're praying for the new year. You have a new year's resolution. Let me ask, if I may ask, personal question. On the list. On the list of things you had, we always have a resolution. You write down the things you want to do for the year. You always used to do that.
Anyone who is watching right now is going to say this girl is unserious. But New Year's resolution is something I said, you know what, I'm going to keep having the list here, because I used to have a notebook. And this notebook, anytime I would do something, I'd be like, yes, I did this, I did that, I did that. And then before I knew it, you would find you've ended the year, and you have a list of 10 things and none of them is done. Like, okay, next year, no problem. You keep telling yourself I can do it.
Postpone to next year.
Yes, next year. So this thing of saying next year, I got tired of saying next year. I said, New Year's resolution. I'm going to do this one thing. I put it on my heart, and then when it's done, that is it. But to be honest, this year I didn't have a resolution, because the year was just something else. Yeah, my resolution was just to make sure
to live.
I enter my 30s, and I'm a mother of 2, and yes,
that's nice. That is an achievement, at least.
I said by the time I turn 30, I have to have my second baby. So at least I did that one.
At least that's something.
And then the other 3, they failed. I'm like, no, next year again.
You see, even if it's meant or on the list,
yes,
it has to be postponed next year. But anyway, we hope for the very best. And of course, Kampala, I'm seeing here pictures of people that were on streets, people that were not able to, celebrate Christmas. Mostly those that are, loitering, homeless. Yeah. But it was about giving and sharing yesterday. So I believe you had someone smile, hoping that the Muslim fraternity was able to share.
I love that Ugandans are actually learning to do more of charity.
Oh yeah.
Because as Ugandan people used to say, and I also have my people. But yes, people are complaining about the economy. People are complaining about business. The money is not there. But at the end of the day, at least charity is kicking in. And you see that Ugandans actually went out there. They were helping the kids on the streets, the families they couldn't help, and companies are actually also coming out to sponsor. They come out, they give us gifts. They were giving gift hampers to different families, different people who couldn't help each other. So they were like, you know what? We see like the Madivan group, they actually gave families many gifts for the season. And you also see that at the end of the day, we are thankful that Ugandans, we ourselves, we are actually looking at all that. Of course, we are still looking at the seasonal entertainment, the economics and everything, but there is a way you can actually be able to manage it all. Because we see the economic impact of the major event refers to the total amount of additional expenditure. And of course, we all know the additional expenditure that we have as Ugandans or as the whole world is that you see that these 2 days tend to affect people economically. And with all this, we see there are benefits and there are losses that actually happen. So we see that holiday seasons, based on the Keynesian School of Economic Thought, spending during major holidays can have significant and positive short-term benefits for the economy by encouraging extra purchases that might not otherwise occur. Of course, we see that many people do spend, and we see that there's an expenditure that you actually look at and you say, you know what, let me leave this, because at the end of the day you can actually have discipline. And you see there's job creation, because if we are saying there are economic benefits for the country, there are job benefits for people, because you see we have decorative companies where they do events, because right now we have 26th of December, that is Boxing Day, and here as Ugandans we tend to have events, we tend to have musicians organize concerts and everything. So that means if a deco company has like 4 or 5 boys they're going to use, these boys have gotten jobs. That means there has been job creation for these boys. And also we look at there are different companies. People are doing events planning. That event planner is going to make money. That event planner is going to need someone to actually help them plan for this day. And then we also see if there is a supermarket, if they've been with shortage of workers, if they've been having 4 workers, that means they're going to have more workers, and that means that is job creation, which is job opportunity for some people. So their economic benefits are still there, and they're quite more. And we see that at the end of the day, everything, creating jobs, attracting visitors, generating revenue, promoting destinations, and enriching communities. Of course, we have people who actually say, I've not been to Uganda, why don't I go to Uganda for December? So tourism also benefits, as we see. The country also benefits because we have the people who come. The hotels make quite a lot of money because we have foreigners who come in to spend Christmas in the country, and we have our very own who also go to the hotels to spend the holidays there. So some of the most important events we have the concerts, we have, some people tend to have weddings on these days, we have dedications, some parents decide to use these days. So yes, at the end of the day, the companies that would actually benefit the most, it is the events companies. Personally, in my thought, I think the events companies actually benefit more, because even if it comes to the concerts, you look that they have to do the stages, and these stages are quite expensive. So we see the examples of important economic events include consumer/business confidence, retail and wholesale, inflation, deflation, and the GDP growth actually happens to take place, and changes in the interest rates. That means even if you are selling a good at 5,000, you would use this season to actually sell it at 8,000, and people would buy it, because you find that there are 1, 2, 3 shops on a street, and on that particular day only 1 shop is open, and that means you all have to go to that shop, because usually most people go to celebrate and don't open their shops, and they say, you know, this day is quite important to me and my family. And of course, when it comes to business investments, they are less likely to follow through during this time of year, because transportation and travel numbers also fall as patrons stay close to home. This can be explained by one simple cause: people want to cut back their spending on certain expenses and prioritize for gifts and other holiday related ideas. We also have people who sell flowers. These florists these days tend to actually make more money during the seasons like these ones. As Ugandans, we never used to actually look at flowers like an important thing, but if you look at it right now, flowers are important these days. They've gotten more important to people. We are tending to get to know the meaning of flowers more and more. So we also see The parties. Why is a Christmas party important? Well, of course, there's team bonding, because if you have team bonding, we are going to start the year and you know that your workers have had the team bonding. So if we are having to spend in the season, yes, there is that spending, but also it has benefits of team bonding for your workers. They will come back to work, they can communicate more. There are some who have never actually gotten time to talk for more than 2 minutes, and this would actually not be good for work, because to have a good working environment, you have to have good communication. And also we see that it reflects the company values, because even in these parties, with all this, you see that these people that are there tend to do all that. So, but also we see that most people tend to give gifts. So that means companies that have gifts, that perfumes, if you have perfumes, shirts, socks for men, ties, because women, we tend to give men all that, hankies. So these are people that actually benefit, which takes us back to the retail people. When you go to Chikobo, we find people who sell hankies in bulk, who sell socks, who sell all these ties and everything. Yes, so the 4 economic activities that we have in these seasonal days is resource management, the production of goods and services, the distribution of goods and services, and the consumption of goods and services. So of course, the resource management, that means from the people we buy from, the supplier from the beginning, and the production of the goods and services. Of course, we see the industries also tend to produce more and more goods in this season, because they know if we've been producing 10 pieces per month, that means in this season they would have to produce more, since there is a high demand for products than the other days, which means there's a higher spending for them and a higher production of goods than there has been before. And of course, we see the distribution of goods and services. That means the suppliers, the service providers have to all be there at the end of the day. So yes, we see all this, but remember, be safe out there on the roads. Take care of yourselves. Yes, drink, but do not drive. Ubers are quite available. They are there. Yes, they're expensive, but for your life, they're not expensive. And we see that you have to, they've said we need to start wearing helmets, of course, when we are having the motorbikes. And yes, at the end of the day, the economic events of the, yes, we'll still look at everything, the economic impacts that we have on our seasonal events and everything. So the economic activities after to the actions of the individuals associated with the manufacturing, consumption of the products and services, these are done for monetary gain. Non-economic activities are those activities done to offer, and of course we have to do the accounting at the end of the day. So companies need to look at all this, and of course we are going to take a very short break, and we are going to be right back. We'll be looking more at the economic impacts that the season has on Ugandans as a country.